Do you want to beat New Home Wave 50 regardless of your soul? Maybe get a little further, but primarily beat Wave 50. I'm going to be going over that here. Now, first things first, if you are Patience or Bravery, you will not need level 20 Reset 3 quite as much. I would still recommend to get as high up as possible, but Bravery and Patience earn more money than Determination early on, so you'll have an easier time in early waves. Of course, you don't necessarily need to have absolutely everything. Now, for Determination, you're going to want to be taking Technique plus extra potential. You don't actually need true determination, but it will help you a lot. For Patience, you are going to want to take True Patience, which is apparently below Patience at the bottom of the screen here, and then you're going to want to go to the left side of Patience. If you don't do these steps, you can probably still get some okay results, but trust me, it's going to help a lot if you have True Patience in the left side of the Patience skill tree. In fact, you're probably going to notice, I'm going to say this for all three of the souls, the left side is what you're going to want. So for Bravery, you still want True Bravery right up there at the top, but you're going to want to take Sacrifice 2, the Chosen One, and then Territory Ruler. Territory Ruler will help you a little bit of money at the start. It's not going to have as huge of an impact, but it still has an impact. Now, in regards to monsters, there are some substitutions you can do, especially since I'm not entirely using the best monsters. For one, none of these monsters that I ended up using for my run are true lab monsters, so you can definitely get some better selections. If you don't have Glide, you can make a substitution for Glide with Whimsalot, though Glide is stronger. Reaper Bird is stronger than Astigmatism, but again, Determination struggles a bit with adding Reaper Bird because if I remember right, Starter Gold fights it or something. Anyway, point is, this is not using True Lab stuff, so that will help you out if you haven't beaten True Lab for some reason. But what I took was Glide, Astigmatism, Temmie, Mad Dummy, Alphys, and I'll tell you how to get those in a moment. And for my special souls, I took Undying the Undying, Sans, and Metaton Neo. I do usually like to replace Sans with Asgore, but since I'm trying to help you beat Wave 50, I can't really use Asgore here. So, if you replace Metaton Neo, Metaton EX is an okay replacement, but I highly recommend taking Undying the Undying. So, where to get these? And these can be a little annoying to unlock, I will admit, because basically for this, if you want to do really well in Endless, you should have a bit of everything. You don't necessarily need to. You can make substitutions again. You don't need absolutely everything here, but try to have most of what I'm using. So Astigmatism is gotten in regular core as a recipe evolution. Evolutions are right here, 10 Luxes. Next, we have Glide, who is gotten as a 20% chance as Wave 5 Snowdin's boss. To continue on, Temmie. Temmie will appear, I believe, in Wave 4 of Waterfall Genocide. Remember, this is the genocide area. To continue on here, Mad Dummy, you actually get in regular Waterfall or regular Waterfall boxes, but it requires regular Dummy in the evolution, which is a Runes Genocide thing. Finally, Alphys here, you get in Wave 1 of Hotland Genocide. Now, continue. Undying the Undying has a 5% chance of being obtained if you beat Waterfall Genocide. Metaton Neo is a 5% chance of being obtained if you beat Core Genocide, and Sans is a guaranteed drop if you beat Sans in the last corridor in Genocide mode. Now, Metaton EX is a 5% chance in regular core and core boxes. Whimsalot is a common core drop. I'm just going through the other things in case you need to make replacements. And let's see, I think there is one more replacement, but I can't remember what it is. Again, you should be probably using as much as I'm recommending. It'll raise your chances, but I can guarantee you don't need absolutely everything. Determination users, if you're using Determination, you might need a lot of what I'm using, like a lot more, we can't replace quite as much, but if you're patience or bravery, you can get away with replacing a lot more. So now that I've explained what soul stuff to use, what monsters to use, let's actually get into the footage we'll be reviewing and analyzing. All right, I have the footage here. This is actually not even every single second of an hour and 10 minutes. It took so incredibly long that when I did pause through a few sections, we still ended up passing an hour. I have it on times 2 speed, but I'll be explaining to make it easier on all of you. So let's get started. 1,375 gold to start. I go near the back and place one astigmatism, okay? I place one astigmatism. And I'll be telling you when this guide will differ for bravery and patience. Okay, so let's keep watching this. Now, I end up placing a Temi here. If you're using patience, you might not want to upgrade your Temi right away because you get extra gold, right? You might actually want to leave Temi on level 1 for slightly longer just to increase that early gold. Maybe. That being said, you don't need to since you already have more gold than determination. If you perfectly follow this, it won't matter that you go down by 50%. But again, taking a little longer to upgrade your Temis and placing more astigmatisms, say 5, might be a good idea. And I'm very careful about where I'm placing my Temis because you see, I'm going to place 5 Temis and then an Alphys by Temi in order to boost Temi's gold generation. So I need to make it be set up in a way where I can boost 5 Temis at once with one single Alphys. So far I've upgraded one Temi to level 2. My plan, okay, determination and bravery. You're going to place all the Temis, right, that are level 1. I'm going to pause here. The goal here to start is to get 5 Temis to level 2. For patience, you're still going to want to do that, but again, you might want to do it slightly later, but if you do follow this guide, it will still work. Again, determination makes the least amount of gold out of all 3 souls, so you should never be behind me. Let's keep going. All right, so my astigmatism is just taking care of these enemies. Until Papyrus comes, I do not even need to slightly worry about anything sneaking through, I don't think. Or maybe I do. I place a second astigmatism, so I guess place 2 astigmatisms. I had that bug where I selected the other Temi, but if you spam right and left click, you can actually unselect the thing and get your thing placed. So if you ever get that bug where you have multiple things selected, spam right and left click. That's always been how I've escaped it. All right, so another astigmatism. I wanted to make sure that Papyrus didn't get through, so I placed a 5th astigmatism. I think I might have been able to get away with just 4, but I wanted to play it safe. Whoops. So let's keep going here. I place another Temi, and again, my goal right now is to simply get 5 Temis to level 2. 5 level 2 Temis means every 30 seconds I'm generating 2,500, aka every minute I'm generating 5,000. So, bravery users, you right now are way ahead of me in money. Like, you are super ahead of me in money. Even if you are just reset 1 level 20, you would be perfectly matching me. But chances are, bravery users, you are definitely ahead depending on what you're using. So, since you are ahead of me on money, don't be afraid to get those extra Temi upgrades. I did upgrade one astigmatism to level 3 here because I wanted Undyne to die with beyond a shadow of a doubt. Just wanted to take care of her. All right, so Undyne is done. Let's keep going. A lot of this guide is just trying to find the right balance between spending money on units and upgrading yours. Now, patience users, you will definitely in the early stages, just like bravery, have an advantage. Patience users, your advantage early on is beyond your extra money you started with, you also have the left side of patience, which means your units are a little stronger. I placed the glide there to deal with the planes because I did not want anything getting through and ruining me. If you place Whim Slot here instead of Glide, make sure to bring the Whim Slot at least to level 3, otherwise a plane might sneak through. So let's keep going. Muffet's going to run up. I was thinking about whether or not my current astigmatism setup of, I think it's 4 level 1s, 1 level 3 would clear it. But after I saw them start dealing damage, I was pretty confident my astigmatisms would take care of it. With Glide helping, it's pretty easy. Also, if you're wondering why I placed my astigmatisms in the back, the reason I placed them in the back is so that enemies would take longer to get across, and that would give us more time for the Temmies to generate money. We need to maximize Temmie money generation, especially for determination. If you do this as determination incorrectly, you'll have to use your second life during wave 5. If you do this correctly, determination, you will not die during wave 5 and have to use your second life. Patience and bravery, you should be absolutely fine during wave 5, assuming you've been spending your money the correct way. It's around this point I bring my Astigmatism army to level 2, just to make sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks, and also I do sort of want to kill that darn Metaton. Metaton's just dancing around without a care in the world. So let's see. Oh wait, looks like I got all my Astigmatisms to level 3 as well. That was definitely the right call. Then the last one was level 4. So 1 level 4, 4 level 3s. And with this is enough to take down Metaton EX, I believe. So I go back to spending money on my Temmie army. At this point, now I think I've gotten every Temmie to level 2. So after getting every Temmie to level 2 and passing wave 5, you should be safe to start focusing on bringing every Temmie to level 3. And then once you bring every Temmie to level 3, what do you think you do? You grab that Alphys and you smack her right in the middle to start boosting up Temmie. So here we go. Wave 6 is going strong. And once we max all of our Temmies, that's when I might take some liberties here in the guide and just start skipping ahead. Because while I did end up doing stuff during that time, once you max all of your Temmies, you just max every unit. That's what you do. Assuming you're maxing every unit you've brought with you, which is why you should probably bring as many units as possible. Yes, I did spend a ton of souls to get a 5th soul slot, and it does help you immensely. It helps you so much to have a 5th slot. If you, for whatever reason, don't have room for a 5th slot, I probably took too long to address this in the video, but if you don't have, oh, so I'm placing my special souls so they generate dust here. That's the only reason. I'm not planning on upgrading them for a while. I just placed them so that I start getting dust. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You are free to go through here without your 5th slot. I'm pretty sure I've managed to beat wave 50 without my 5th slot. It's just if you come in here without a 5th slot, you're probably not going to be able to bring Alphys. But yes, it should be possible to win without your 5th slot. Again, you just go without Alphys. Determination users are the ones that will really hate that the most. Some of you might be wondering about my Omega Flowey on the right side. I don't use Omega Flowey until after wave 50. This is mainly to help you through wave 50, but yes, having Omega Flowey is a huge boon. Omega Flowey will drastically raise your chances of getting past wave 55. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. All right. And also, in case you're wondering, I have 20 souls for Omega Flowers. That's how much I'm reducing the cost by. But let's keep going. Undyne showing up. She's being easily taken down. I'm just generating lots and lots of money for my units. If you're wondering whether Temmie can be optional, I would say I'm sure it's possible to get a lot done with Temmie, But if you don't take Temmie, you're going to have a lot more money troubles. So now that I've gotten my special souls out and they're earning dust, now I'm starting to save up money. That way I can just max all of my Temmies. Maxing Temmie is what will bring us from our current point to just maxing everything. Effectively infinite money, right? Since you can just max out everything. So that's what we're doing right now. The first Temmie got maxed, and with my current Alfie's benefit on that one Temmie, that Temmie was generating about 20,000 a minute. 20,000 gold every minute. And it's only going to go up. It is just going to go up. I think I maxed all my astigmatisms just to make sure Muffet didn't get through. While you are saving gold for Temmies, don't be afraid to upgrade units to make sure that monsters don't get, or yeah, that monsters don't get through. You lose if monsters get through, so yeah, just spend the money on upgrading something if it keeps you alive. Your primary goal is to upgrade these Temmies. Right now, I'm trying to bring them all to 5. But you see that I do spend time. Let's see. I think most of my units are level 1 damage wise, with the exception of Astigmatism, who I think are all level 5. And Glide, during wave 10, as you can see, I brought Glide to level 3. A level 3 Glide can do, I think, 600 damage every 3 seconds. So again, this is just another step to help ensure I don't die. Let's see. Looks like I didn't have all Astigmatins to level 5 quite yet, but now I do. Okay. And with that, Metaton EX has been struck down. Well, let's keep going here. Wave 11. And now we're just waiting for my gold to be maxed. Once my gold is, or my Temmies are maxed, that's again where I'm going to take a lot more liberties here. I don't want this to go the whole length because seriously, look at this. We're only 23 minutes basically through this. And if I go through this second by second, it's going to take forever. But don't worry, I'm not going to skip until we have our Temmies maxed out, just so you can all understand how to get to that point. Once you get to that point, you are going to have an easy time with a lot of these waves. Also, if you're wondering how many souls I get, I do show that at the end. Alright, so I still have not upgraded my special souls. Temmies are generating lots and lots of money. If you, for whatever reason, are coming in here without strong special souls like Undying and Neo, again, you might want to place something down while you're saving money. Mad Dummy, for example, might help you a lot. Placing down another Glide. There are a few times during this that I just straight up AFK because New Home is around this point so painfully easy you don't really need to pay that much attention. So if you're wondering why in times 2 speed I'm just standing still even though I have enough money, it's because of that. Like around this point, things should just be getting easier and easier. They don't get difficult for a while. I think part of me is thinking about upgrading Alphys to level 4. That way I can boost my gold generation for the Temmies even further. And, well, it's not really thinking, I just did it. So now Temmie's generating 7,200 gold every 15 seconds, which would be roughly 28,000 every minute. And since I have 5 Temmies doing that, that means every minute I'm generating, well, let's see, I guess around 140,000? Is that right? No, because 5 times 20. Okay, wait. 7,000, right? Or, yeah, 7,200 times 4 is about 2,800. But I'll just say 28,000. 5 times 20,000 is 100,000, and 5 times 8,000 is 40. So, yeah, roughly 140,000 a minute. Okay. So, around this point, now that I've maxed out all my tummies, I take the time to max every single one of my glides. That's all I do for this section. The next couple of minutes are just dedicated to max and glide. If you're wondering if I had any difficulties, no. I placed all my glides and you see I'm still maxing them. I'm still fine. I have not upgraded Sans, Neo, or Undyne yet. I've not touched the special souls beyond placing them. Let's go further ahead. All right. Now I've started placing Alphys by my units. I moved my Astigmatisms to the middle. They're so cheap with my max Temmies that I'm fine with that. And I'm also placing Alphys around everything. Now I carefully place Alphys in a way where she will not touch Sans, because Sans does not get buffed by Alphys. Sans will gain like 1 or 2 total damage, but his range will go down and he'll end up losing thousands of damage later. Now I start placing my mad dummies. I'm pretty sure every Alphys I've placed is level 4. Keep that in mind. I have not brought any of my Alphys to level 5. It costs a ton of money, and right now I really have no need for level 5 Alphys. Alright, so I'm just placing more mad dummies down. I'm trying to max them all out, and I can tell you, for the next few seconds, that is all I focus on. Maxing out mad dummy. So again, I'm going to skip ahead a bit. And it looks like I started upgrading my special souls finally. It looks like I brought Sans around wave 2022 to level 3, and right now I'm saving up and upgrading Sans. Now, I had a very specific reason for upgrading Sans, but not Neo or Undyne yet. Basically, Determination gets stronger special soul units. There's only one special soul unit that is an exception to that rule, and it's Sans. So, your Sans is actually going to be about the same strength as my Sans. In fact, almost completely. My Sans might deal zero point 0.3 extra damage, but yeah, zero point 0.3 extra damage. So now I've brought Sans to level 4, and in case you're wondering, all these blasters, the KR does stack. So if an enemy gets past Sans, oh, and I set Sans to strongest, so he focuses the boss. But if an enemy gets blasted a ton by, say, level 5 Sans, they'll actually end up taking KR almost the entire map they're walking through. They'll just keep taking KR. So Sans will sort of just poison the enemy for the rest of their life. Here I'm saving for level 5 Sans, which is the highest you need to take Sans. 400,000 gold, which is why it's a good thing you have a lot of time to get those Temmies generating money. So at this point, just a reminder, all of my glides and mad dummies are level 5. I actually forgot to upgrade the Alphys right by the front for a very long time, which is why my front units are actually a little weaker than they should be. So now we get to skip ahead because there is nothing to worry about right now. Let's see, I have Neo selected. Did I upgrade Neo or Undyne here? Let me check. I need to know if I upgraded them yet, so I can show you when I upgraded them. Alright, it was right at this moment, roughly, where I started spending money on upgrading Undying. So after maxing everything but a single Alphys that I hadn't noticed yet, I'm really not sure how I missed the Alphys in the front that hadn't been upgraded. But now I've brought Undying to level 4, and I will also start upgrading Neo. So there's nothing else I'm spending money on, so we can skip ahead. There's nothing to worry about. The enemies will not get through my defenses. So as Bravery, you're going to substitute Determination special soul bonus with your extra range. And as Patience, the increment benefits you have will again substitute Determination special soul damage. Yeah, now I'm starting to upgrade Neo. Let's just skip on ahead to when things are more interesting. Because once I bring Neo and Undying to whoa, little too far, little too far. This isn't edited, so I have to actually okay. So we're on wave 33. You might ask, why did I suddenly skip to wave 50? It's because from wave 33, everything was level 5, right? Every single thing was level 5 except Alphys, who was level 4. Nothing needed to be done. The whole time up until wave 50, from wave 33, I was just AFK watching. and then I unpaused at 50. So if you've been doing everything right, you should be at the same strength as me at wave 50. Remember, Neo and Undyne, I can bring them to level 6. I did not for this section. One more thing. If for some reason you are following the guide, you have everything and you're somehow not winning when Asgore appears, you can summon Omega Flowey. But you should not need Omega Flowey. As you can see, when I finally hover my mouse over Asgore, Asgore is rapidly taking damage. And just to show you how much you actually have room for error, see when Asgore dies. Asgore does not get too close to the end, if I remember right. Oh, and if you're wondering, if you are playing this without Alphys here, how do you win? The way I did it without my 5th slot, so I couldn't use Alphys and I had weaker monsters, is that during this, I sold my Mad Dummies to the right and kept replacing them along the map to follow Asgore in order to raise my chances of killing Asgore. So anyway, if I had done that here, Asgore would have died much sooner. But since I wasn't doing that, Asgore actually got further. Okay, he got further than I remembered. Okay, so I ended up selling 2 Mad Dummies in order to replace them right here. You have effectively infinite money, so you're fine. And yeah, I just placed the Mad Dummies down later down the track, and he quickly died. I would have recommended doing that for all 5 Mad Dummies. Alright, let's keep going. Now that I beat wave 50, I need everything, every advantage I can have. So I upgraded Undying and Neo to level 6, and we can actually skip to the next noteworthy section here, being wave 55. During wave 55, I attempted to beat the Metaton EX boss, but what ended up happening is I'd used my second life here because my units did not manage to stop Metaton EX. Maybe if I had kept selling my Mad Dummies here, I would have beaten Metaton EX, but it didn't end up happening. I ended up having to place my Omega Flowey. Once Omega Flowey was placed, however, we can actually go over to that. I spent all my money on Omega Flowey, and it just kind of destroyed everything. With my Alphys out, Omega Flowey had a huge damage boost. I placed Omega Flowey in the middle to cover the whole map. Unfortunately, Omega Flowey ended up dying during wave 60, and that's where my run ended. I can actually go right over to where it ended here. And you can all see what I got for souls. So again, if you are bravery or patience, you can swap out, you can substitute a good amount of things. If you're determination, you should try to be as close to level 20 reset 3 as possible with the same monsters and loadout. Either determination can make some substitutions, and yeah, 3,400 almost. If this guide helped you, please leave a like and also say something in the comments so other people know this guide works. If you had a problem or a question, again, drop it in the comments because then I will happily help address whatever the problem is or answer any questions you have. Finally, if you want to see more guides in the future, please subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.